Hello, today I'm making a little video about the new year. In my last Trecena video, the Kamei Trecena video, I promised to make this little video now to give you an idea about the coming themes. We're just here in the last day of Wayeb, the last day of this 5-day period of introspection, and tomorrow the new year arrives, tomorrow the new MAM arrives. So I know this can sound a little bit complicated at times because we have themes within themes within themes within themes. We have the theme of the day, which will be given by the Nahuatl number combination. We might have the theme of the Trecena, the 13-day period within which that arrives. We will then also have the theme of the year, the 365-day solar year, which is going to carry a theme as well. We could then also look at a 13-year period, and we can also look at a 52-year period. So I'm going to try and kind of like explain a little bit about this. So the year which is starting, 7 Now I feel that this is a very interesting and fairly important year. Years, along with Noch years, are supposedly more gentle than Ich and Kech years. So they form two pairs, Ich and Kech, which we've just been through in 2017 and 2018, and then and Noch, which we're now about to go into in 2019-2020. So these years may be gentler on us than the last 2 years have been. Now, I received some intuition when I was at the top of La Danta a couple of years ago. So La Danta is a pyramid at the Mayan site of El Mirador, and I have a special affection for El Mirador, in part because it was one of the first Mayan pyramids that I ever read about. Back in 1994 I read a report, a magazine report, about a journey, and it was said to be one of the last known journeys which you could do without military training or something like that, one of the last great adventures, and it was the hike to El Mirador. Now, that was 94. It actually took me 22 years to actually get onto it, and I finally did it in February of 2016. And when I got to that pyramid, when I got to the top, and I stood on the top of the pyramid and I looked out over the jungle, I could see the sites of El Tintal, I could see the site of Nakbay, I could see the site of La Florida, all from this vantage point on top of this pyramid. And I realised two things. The first thing that I realised was that I'd finally reached a destination. This was the end of a journey, this was the end of a road. My whole journey, my whole ambition was not to go to El Mirador and then make it safely back home or anything like that. It was to get to the top of that pyramid, to follow that journey that I'd read about, that so inspired me. And I had achieved my goal. I had come to the end of that road. And from the end of that road, from the top of that pyramid, I could see these other sites, El Tintal that I'd been to, Nakbay that I was going to. Now, it wasn't going to be my choice to go back to El Tintal. It was going to be my choice to go to Nakbay and La Florida. But really what I could see was all decisions which were available to me from that vantage point on top of the pyramid. This is something which I see as being absolutely quintessential to the day and hence the year 7 7 can represent death and endings, and so this is the end of something, and is the journey, the path. Now that path might be a path of learning, it might be a relationship, it might be a physical journey. Is all about that. It's coming, and the 7 says that it's coming to the end. So there is a chance that this year is about wrapping something up, realizing that you've got to the end, you've got as far as your journey can take you. But from that new vantage point, from your destination, you're then able to see the new options which are available to you. Now, there's something else which is kind of interesting with regards to this, in that 7 of course, is not only the year bearer, but it represents the first 20 days of this new solar year. After 7R, we'll then go into the Trecena of 1R, the new path. So it's almost as if this year, which will begin on the 20th of February on 7R, is about realizing where you've got to your destinations, where you've got to the end of the road with something, the end of the path with something. You're then seeing the new options which are available to you. It's like, where do you want to go now? What do you want to do now? What's pulling you towards it? What learning is there to be found in the next path? What choices do you want to make? Because 7 is all about making choices. When we sit still, when we get static, when we get stagnant, that's when our life kind of gets stuck. The whole point of the number 7 is to show us what our choices are, what decisions we can make, and then we have to act on them, then we have to follow them. So 7, yes, it is the end of something in order for something new to grow. What new grows? Well, 20 days after the beginning of the new year, we go into the Trecena of 1R, which is about the new path that you take. So it's kind of like you've got 20 days to begin the year by wrapping some stuff up and then moving on, to a new path. Now we should also remember that the 7R occurs during the Trecena of Camae, so this is also a period of time about facing our fears as well. And sometimes, you know, the fear of letting go, the attachment that we've created to whatever it is that we've come to the conclusion of, well, this can be one of the biggest fears that we have to overcome. In order to move forward freely, in order to move forward into our new direction, we have to let go of what is known in order to walk into the unknown, in order to walk into a higher degree of novelty, because that's where we learn. So, what we can see is that this year that we're going to go into is likely to have the end of some particular paths that we may have been following. And as I said, this might be something that we've been following for 260 days, might be something we've been following for 13 years, it might be something that we've been following for 52 years. But it's a change, it's a difference, it's a new option which is available to us. So, with this on the table, with this energy flowing through this coming year, it's likely to be a year of discovery, it's likely to be a year of changes, endings of something, and it's hopefully going to give us new options to have a look at as well. So, I wish you all the very best for the coming year, and I'll look forward to making another video for the Trecena of Kawok, which will be coming up next week. Thank you.